Okay, we're back. Yes, I know your time is precious, and that's why I'm getting through this pretty quickly. And we're on to the G's through to M's. There's not too many, but I'll start with Goldmund. So Goldmund is contemporary. This is contemporary piano music. It's probably more along the lines of nocturnes in terms of slightly melancholy and I don't know, brooding a little bit in places, but still quite light. I mean, when you've got a single instrument like a piano playing, it doesn't get too out of hand. The compositions are quite beautiful. So it is in a classical tradition, but Goldmund is a contemporary performer of classical style music. And I've got two albums. So that's one. Oh, and I should say what it is. It's Famous Faces. Let me just check that. Oh, Famous Places. Yeah, sometimes these things, there's a bit of fade out here on the thing. So Famous Places. And this one I think is a little bit harder to read actually. What it is, the Malady of Elegance. Oh, I think that's what it says. It's done in a cursive script, so it's very hard to read. But anyway, I'll put that down in the description. So that's another Goldmund album, similar to the other one. Again, it's piano pieces that are done in a sort of a nocturne tradition, I think it'd be the way to describe it. Obviously classically trained and just beautiful compositions. So, that might be somebody you've never even heard of, because obviously traditional classical music, Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Mendelssohn, Chopin, all of those people tend to know. Górecki, though, Henryk Górecki might be someone, again, I've got to get the reflections out of there, might be someone that you haven't heard of. I heard this on the radio actually. It's Symphony number 3. It's an opus. Again, I'm not sure what that is. There is a soprano, so there's singing. There's beautiful vocalizations. It is quite deep, brooding, sentimental. I think you can sort of get that from the imagery. I could almost say funereal, however you say that. Something you'd play at a funeral, let's just put it that way. And so that's beautiful music, but it is on that sort of darker side of the spectrum. So not light and airy, but quite sort of deep and a little bit full on. I think my wife finds it a bit full on, that one. Now, I've jumped to Itzhak Perlman. Again, it's that violinist, and these are concertos from my childhood. And there's a lot of, there's about 5 different composers that he's playing on this album, but these were the composers and the concertos that he learned as a child. So this is obviously an image of him as a child. There's a picture of him. So that's interesting. Sometimes it's hard to know how to catalogue these, because this is all about Itzhak Perlman, and I'm not going to run through the names of they're not big names, not names that I'm familiar with in terms of composers, European composers, but yeah, not your big name composers that everybody knows of in classical music. Again, Itzhak Perlman, I got another album. This is more Mendelssohn, but also Bruch. I do know Mendelssohn. Max Bruch, I'm not familiar with. Now, who is he with? That's André Previn. I picked this up because I really liked the cover. I thought it was a very cool cover. Obviously, this was done in the 70s. 60s or 70s. Let's have a look. 73, yeah, 70s. And that's Itzhak Perlman there, just chilling, sitting down. André Previn, he's been involved he's a conductor and also arranger. He's involved in other albums that I've got in sort of that jazz, sort of just in the jazz area. He's done sort of the arrangements and conducting of jazz bands. So I thought it was interesting he was doing this classical music with Itzhak Perlman as the lead violinist. So another one to check out. Now we're getting back to something contemporary. This is Jacob Cooper. I love this album cover. This is Silver Threads. And this is a little bit like some of the other things I pointed out, maybe Górecki, where there is a soprano singing. It just simply says voice, Mellissa Hughes on voice. The music's composed by Jacob Cooper. There are multiple instruments in here, but the voice is what's used as an instrument and sort of cuts through everything. So that's quite beautiful. It's quite interesting and unique. And again, it is in a classical tradition, but contemporary arrangements, compositions perhaps, and the voicing from Mellissa Hughes is quite beautiful, but it's used as an instrument as opposed to there being lyrics or, you know, being like a opera style or choir style singing, you know, usually in Italian, I suppose, or German. It's just it's vocalizations that are quite interesting. So quite unique. Check out that Jacob Cooper. Okay, now we're getting to, you know, big names again. Mozart. I didn't mention Mozart before, but this is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, of course, piano sonatas. So again, I seem to head towards sonatas. I don't actually have nocturnes other than these contemporary albums that I feel are like nocturnes, which implies evening, late evening, nighttime. So this is a pianist, Alicia de La Rocca. I think it's La Rocca. So, you know, again, it's really about the person playing as much as about the compositions by, you know, famous composer Mozart. And it's beautiful. It is really nice, single piano, and it's the kind of thing you put on in the background. Guess what's in the background right now? And I have shown off this before in the box set section, but if you only bought one classical, I don't know, we can't say album because there's 10 CDs in here, but this is comprehensive, the complete piano concertos. So sonatas, concertos seem to be where I head for my classical music, and this is amazing. This is Barenboim as the pianist and conductor, but it has got full symphony as well, but there's passages where it's just him on piano. So that's a Mozart box set, well worth investigating. It is recommended as one of the great recordings of Mozart. So that's up to the M's. Coming up next will be the P's right through to, I think, Y. Again, I'm sort of trying to get through this reasonably quickly. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And I'll try and keep these shortish so that you can just sort of get a sense of my collection and some sort of you know, albums that I'm pointing out here and there as worth getting if you're new to classical music as I am. And I'm more than happy for someone who knows about classical music to just jump in and recommend things in the comment section below. So thanks for watching and see you soon.